Happy Tuesday, everybody! And guess what, man? We're live and we are recording episode 100. Hey, man, it's been a long journey, and I'm so happy for all of you who have followed me here, who pushed me here, who came here, who left. Hopefully, some of y'all came back or at least brought somebody along with it. But it's been a nice, fun journey. I've recorded well over 100 episodes, but then like I stopped counting at one point and then started back over. But it's just all over the place, kind of like I am. So, hey, it's the big baby. And I'm back for the 100th time. 100. And today we're going to reflect on the journey of Big Baby's podcast. And then after that, we're going to have an interview with my near and dear friend, Morgan Woods. And we're going to talk about her brand, Morgan Le Reine, and all that it encompasses, along with some other stuff, a little, hot topics, some current events and stuff like that, just to get her perspective on it. But let's talk about 100, man. It's been a long time coming, man. It takes me back to freshman year of Morehouse on the stoop and thinking about the radio show that we wanted to do there. And it just didn't happen. Lazy, timing wasn't right, whatever it may be. It just didn't happen. And then kind of like forgetting about the whole dream of being a talking head. And then it became Snapchat rants. Oh, man, I used to go on the Snapchat rant like every day. And then it got to the point, it was like, you know what? I want to do more than just a rant. I want to like package my rants into a conversation. And so I worked on the catch up with Sean, which was really fun. I really appreciate that. Shout out to Sean. You can find us tomorrow on Fansided on their new show, Sports in Order. You can stream that on Facebook and Twitter. I'll have those links available for you all. And we're going to be streaming tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern time, 1 o'clock Pacific, talking about sports. It's going to be a nice reunion. But anyways, then I started saying, hey, I want to work by myself. So I just started like recording. And then I did Big Baby and the Bovine. Shout out to the Bovine. Kyle, you've been great. I'm happy you're a part of the team. Shout out to my ghostwriters. And it's just been like a long, fun journey, man. But some of the highlights of the 100 episodes, man. BS in Bahrain. You know what the fuck going on. That was part one, right? Or part two, excuse me. We did a great podcast that we ended up taking down. I don't even think I have the audio for that anymore. But it was so funny. You had me, Chew, and WAP, and that was like the first like real introduction to regular guests on my podcast. And that's where Cheese Eggs came from, the development of what became like a movement. You know what I mean? And then I did the Voices of the Ville series, man, and that was fun. Like, gave me the opportunity to talk to different people from back home and just let them just get their stuff off on the pod. And now that's becoming a reoccurring thing where I'm reaching out to various people to come on the pod. Hell, Morgan from the Ville, and that's another person whose voice we're going to hear today. So shout out to my hometown for, supporting me and all that they've done. Then we go to Operation Oil Money, and that's when we really got cooking. That's when Joni came on the pod, and I had a co-host, but not only a co-host, somebody to help me produce the show and guide me and keep me, you know what I mean? Like, hey, get back on topic. Hey, this is a nice topic. And it became like a back and forth thing where I'm no longer generating my topics alone, but I'm working in a team concept. Then we did Living a Lie, and that was the first time I brought Wayne on. And it was absolutely amazing. And Wayne, shout out to you. You're now a staple on the pod along with Candace and Chew, and that's what opened up that door. And then You Miss Me, I Get It. Probably the most funny episode that we ever recorded, man. We had brunch at my house, and there was just so many just gems and bars dropped that day. Like, we came up with the You Miss Me, I Get It, But Equal Rights, and so many other different topics that we could just keep using and building on the show. And next weekend, Wayne, Candace, and Chew will be back. And we're going to talk about some of that stuff because we got some new stuff coming for y'all. Hey, hey, but then when they see us, the most the most popular episode I did, and that was when me and Joni we sat down, we watched When They See Us, and then we went back over it and we gave our thoughts on that documentary on Netflix, and really spoke to the importance of the Central Park Five and what they mean to our community, and how they were so wrongly treated by the New York justice system, and how that's a problem that we are still continuing to deal with today. And it's so unfortunate because, like, stuff is still happening, and this was years ago, but we still see the injustice that is going on in the world. And that kind of, at that point, I really started to feel myself, man. Like, I was like, hey, pod is growing, numbers is booming. I can do whatever I want. But no. Then I had the Amanda Seals incident, which I was like, man, F Amanda Seals. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm doing me. Why you mad? I'm just talking a little bit of noise. And then I saw like a decline in listens, downloads, and I'm like, am I doing something wrong here? Have I gone too far? And then, I just kept, but I kept at it, obviously, because it is what it is. You got to keep pushing. And then quarantine happened, COVID happened. And during the COVID, I really found my niche. That's when I really started the rebrand, where I started, focusing more on serious issues. Because what many of you may not know, the whole purpose of this podcast was to address serious topics with a comedic point of view. But what I ended up doing was getting so caught up in the comedy that I forgot about the serious voice that I could have. And I shut off so many different people by my presentation, because it was MF this, GD that. And granted, I'm still the same person, and I may speak that way privately, but understanding that publicly, as somebody who's trying to build a platform, you don't want to isolate people just because of the language that you use. And seeing the way it's grown since then, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for caring. Thank you for sharing. For anybody who's listened to this podcast and got something from it, thank you. Anybody who listened to this podcast and decided, you know what, I can go out and do that. I can go out and talk to people. Thank you. For anybody who came on and just had fun with me, thank you. I appreciate you so much. But look here, man, we're not here for me today. We're here for our special guest, Miss Morgan Le Reine. I just want to tell y'all a little bit about Mo, right? Morgan has been one of my closest friends for over 10 years, man. It's been since way back to high school. And it's crazy how we got close. And if you ask me how we became such close friends, I honestly couldn't tell you. Probably from like some MySpace conversations that just continued on. And then we started kicking it. And then 10 years later, here we have it. And it's been a great friendship, one of the most consistent friendships I've had in my life. And watching her grow into the nice young lady she's become, the loving mother that she is, and now someone who's building her own platform, her own brand. It's really beautiful to see. And I'm so happy for her. Like, you just don't understand, man, to see the what Morgan Le Reine is growing into. Because I just remember her talking to me, privately about the idea of it, then just continuing to cultivate it, and now providing a tangible product for people and seeing the way that it's been received. Because I mean, she got t-shirts, she got flip-flops and stuff. I have a pair of the flip-flops. And I'm not going to give away too much of it, but it's so much deeper than what it appears on the surface. And that's the one beautiful thing I love about it. Because you want, if you're giving somebody a tangible product, you want them to walk away with something, a reason why they should probably use it. I mean, I like this merch I sell. I don't sell it because I love it. I mean, because I want to sell merch. No, I sell it because I want to have the ability to provide something for people so that they can understand the message that I'm trying to give out to them. So let's talk about Morgan Le Reine. Why did you go with the name Morgan Le Reine?
Morgan Le Reine, Morgan Queen, that translates into Morgan the Queen in French. So what I did was it was a play of words because I live by queen principles, royalty principles. I just wanted to be different, and Lorraine was what it was. I had Lorraine. I mean, Lorena is queen in Spanish, and everybody always use Spanish as a second language. Not claiming French as a second language for me. I just felt that it was different.
Okay, that's dope. I like how you tried to think outside of like the typical box of what a lot of people like to do. And you went with the queen thing. And like speak to that though, because so often women are calling themselves queen, men are calling themselves kings and all of that stuff. Did that have anything to do with you going with the king queen route?
Um, I can say yes, and I can say no because not everyone lives by the same principles when they do refer to themselves as a queen. And that's just kind of my thing where I want to change that perspective. Because you can't call yourself a queen when you're, not doing queen gestures or not performing of queen gestures. And I'm gonna get into that in a second. But I just, I live by royalty. I live by royalty and I stand by it. As I said before, would just I wouldn't be me if I didn't owe that to my ancestors. And I feel that's one thing that we do owe to our ancestors is our royalty. Like we have to make noise while we here, like I say. So why not make noise and it makes sense? You got to make it make sense. So, you know, that's
That's
my
funny. It's
spiel.
funny you say that, and you are Morgan the Queen because we grew up in the same hometown, same community, but there were a lot of places that I would be, wouldn't see you there, and then the one or two times I might see you somewhere where you had no business being. Let's talk about the red train around about 2014. It's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
You don't
like, and
you
it's
don't come to these
because
parts.
it's crazy because I would always grow up feeling like I didn't fit in. It was always something different about me. It was always the way that I carried myself and the way that people, you know, had their perception. People have their different perceptions, but someone just told me the other day that I've always carried myself to a certain standard, and like you say, you didn't expect to see me in those places, but I was just trying to see what was going on, knowing that I didn't belong in that place. So I just wanted to have a little peek.
You were probably looking for somebody who was in there, seeing if they was in there. But you talk about that, and you say you've been that way most of your life. What do you think that comes
Mhm.
from?
My mom, she's very conservative. She's very conservative,
You're
and
straight or conservative.
she she is conservative.
I know. Shout out
Not
to
on
Miss Trina.
Facebook though. Nobody's conservative on Facebook. No, shout out to my queen of a mama though. My queen of a mama. She raised the queen. She raised the
And she,
queen.
she
I
making
will
them
say
cakes,
that,
ain't
and
she?
she did a very good job. Peaches by the pound, baby.
Peaches by
LLC,
the
get
pound.
into it. Yes, get into it. Y'all hit up Peaches by the pound. If you like pound cakes from scratch, Peaches by the pound.
All right, so yeah, so it comes from your mama. She get it from her
Yeah.
mama.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, though, I can definitely see that because I know you and your mother,
Mhm.
and just the conversation that we've had over the years. it makes a lot of sense. And how did that play out for you
Mhm.
down in Savannah State? Because it's a whole nother monster down there. I don't go down there. It's too country hood for me.
What? I didn't hear the first thing you said.
I said, how did you, and the way you've carried yourself, not by no means are you like an asshole or bougie, but you just don't always engage in the same stuff that everybody does. But you're always a laid back, chill, personable person. Like how did that play for you at Savannah State?
Ooh. Ooh. Savannah State. Okay. Um. Savannah State. I feel like that was the point in time where I had to step out on a limb and see what it is that I actually wanted to do in life. Savannah State. Shout out to SSU. I will always be proud to have been a part of my SSU. Um, ain't nothing like a HBCU experience, and if you don't experience it, then you I ain't gonna say you're not cultured, but you gotta have some sort of background of you being, you know, involved. But as far as SSU, man, I had some of the best times, some of my best times at SSU. Some of my best times I met my first day of moving day. I met my best friend. They say you meet your closest friends in college, and that's the truth because I don't have no friends from high school. No shade to anyone. I love everyone, but I really, my closest friends are from college. Um, yeah, so I I loved my experience at Savannah State. I had some of
Yeah, you had
my
to.
best times, my best memories.
I've never
Hmm.
been in a trunk in my life until I had to sneak on to Savannah State. So they don't let outsiders on after it gets dark.
Wow. Yeah, I know. There's plenty of people out there that can attest to being in the trunk. You went to come to Savannah State's homecoming.
But
Yep.
but yeah,
I still got other people's ID. For what reason? I don't know.
cause I remember you. I had an ID that I had to use one time to get on campus. It worked once.
Hmm.
It's like, all right, now you gotta get in
Yeah.
this trunk. Go across the street over
SSU,
there at the
y'all better
laundry.
update y'all IDs. I hope y'all did.
But let's get back to you, your brand, Morgan Le Reine. You chose the Queen, and for people who don't know, the first item that you sold, right, were flip flops, right?
Yes.
Why did you choose flip flops? Most people go with shirts.
Wow. I just wanted to be different. I'm a flip flop person. I love, let my toes hang. But no, on a serious note, on a serious note, I really love to express myself through fashion. I may not have always had it, but I work with what I work with and what I put together, it be bomb and it be me, you know. And I can also, step out a little bit, put on my
Just
grown
a little
woman.
bit. You don't never step out.
Put on my grown
You want to
woman.
be in
Just every
sweatpants
now and
or a
then, something for
t-shirt.
special occasion, for like a date night or something for that. I'm gonna put on for my man, but
As you should.
yeah, like I was saying, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, flip flops.
Talk about why you chose flip
I
flops
started with flops.
and the blackout. Let me tell you something, Cartersville. Y'all got to work on y'all's connection out there because it is
Can you hear me?
terrible. I can hear you now. Yeah. So you started with flip flops.
I started with flip flops because, of course, you say it's different. I thought it was different also. And I came into like a little mishap, in life where I was introduced into a mutual friend and it was her birthday. It was my first time meeting her. I got dressed at her house and left my flip flops over there. And I tried to come back the next day and get them, the next morning and get them. And she's like, "What flip flops?" I was just like, oh, okay. So, from that day forward, I'm gonna shop out of my closet, Morgan Le Reine, Morgan the Queen. And, ever since that day, it's just put, I ain't gonna say it put the fire in me, but that's what it did. Because I've always had aspirations of, entrepreneurship, aspiration of, the model actress industry. But we're gonna get into that later.
That's
So
dope. Yeah, because
yes, that's why I did flip flops.
I remember when you hit me up about the flip flops and you started talking about the king me and the queen me. Sorry, I put king first 'cause I'm a man, but queen me and king me. And I thought it was just dope on the surface. Like, hey, you're using flip flops, which most people aren't wearing. They're doing shirts and t-shirts because that's easy.
Hmm.
And you are finding a
Quality
way.
material.
Very comfortable, by the way. So comfortable. I saw Chris
Yes.
Evans with his on in Vegas yesterday. Shout out to Big Chris.
Hey, shout out to you. He always support. Shout out,
But
shout out to Brad.
who's Brad?
Chris.
Oh, but but yeah, when you decided to go with the King Me Queen Me stuff, I knew it was bigger than like just the name on the shoes, right? Like on the flops.
Right.
I knew it was part of
Hmm.
empowering yourself, empowering our people to say, "Hey, man, you're more than just what people are telling you you are. You are truly a descendant of royalty, and you should carry yourself as such."
Right.
So it's dope. For one, I'm proud of you. Shout out to you. But what stuff do you have?
Demand your respect, baby.
You know what? That's a great conversation because you're talking about demanding respect, right? And I think people want something, but they don't demand what they say that they want. And until you
Hmm.
demand what you want, you'll never get it because I hear so many people say, I want this in life, I want this in my partner, I want that in my partner. Well, what are you actually demanding from your partner
Right.
or a potential
It's
partner?
really all in. It's really all in the mind. If you change the way that you believe, then you can change the way that you act, and that's just bottom line.
But it takes time to get there because we've all had our struggles finding for one figuring out what it is that we truly want out of life, what we truly want from someone else, and then actually demanding what we want. So it's beautiful to hear that. And what made you go with a clothing line? Because there are so many different ways, right, that you could have chose to influence people to say, hey, excuse me, hold yourself to this standard, be the king, be the queen that you are. Why clothes?
Why clothes? Okay, so clothes it can get a little bit tricky because people express themselves differently in different ways, and some people have that common share of expressing themselves through clothes. I need you to see, wear, feel it, believe it, live it. I need you to do all of the above. It's mind, body, and soul type of thing. Like you have to have all of those in alignment. And if you don't, then you still out here confused and searching. But you know, those principles you just have to stand by them. And as far as clothes, I feel like it's one of the greatest ways for me to start to express and start to be the leader of the queens and gather leaders, other queens and other kings to express themselves through the clothes. Now, once I get their attention, once I have their attention, and everybody's intact and everybody's on this Morgan Le Reine train, there's more to just Morgan Le Reine. You know, there's sub points. I'm a mother first, you know. So that falls under Morgan the Queen. I'm a recent college graduate from the University of West Georgia. That falls under the bracket of being the queen. while carrying on motherhood. You know, I'm an entrepreneur. You know, entrepreneurs. Even wider bracket. I'm an aspiring model actress. It's more to it's the bigger picture. You have to live up to your standards, and that's what I'm practicing, and that's what I'm trying to convey, through my brand. So it's starting here, but it's more to it. So.
So you bring up motherhood, right? And let me tell you two
Mhm.
things about you and your motherhood and your pregnancy that I just totally respect. For one, when you were pregnant, you stayed in shape and you didn't let yourself go. And so often people will blame having a kid on why they let themselves go. And you're actually smaller after having a kid, but that's just me being superficial, and that doesn't matter about anything in the world. But you were able
I
to
appreciate
have a
it.
child, transfer, and still graduate, what, 5 years, right? And pledge all in the span of 5 years, right? Things that some people who have none of those those hurdles go through, right? They just go to school and they have their struggles. What pushed you to keep pressing on while you were in school to still achieve the goals that you set prior to starting to school and meeting those goals in a reasonable timeline?
Faith. You gotta have
Faith?
faith.
Your cousin
You
Faith?
have to have. No, not my cousin faith. I'm talking about the faith that's the size of the mustard seed faith.
You
That's
talking
the
about
faith that I'm
Lord?
talking about.
Oh, you talking about the
Yes.
Lord? Mm-hmm.
Yes. A whole lot of praying. And once I realized that, it was bigger than me, that's what gave me the drive. It's nothing that, I was forced to have to do. It's something, it's every bit of what's in me, that I was built for this. I was built to, you know, overcome obstacles and be successful. I was meant to go through those things. It's everything just to build character. And I took every bit of wisdom that I needed to get from that situation, or anything that I needed to help me get through college, or help me get through pregnancy, or help me get through passing tests and driving back and forth an hour and 15 minutes Monday through Thursday to Carrollton, Georgia. I had to, have just a little bit of faith. That's all it took. And it was bigger than me. I have a son, so it's bigger than me. I want him to have, even without having. He don't want for nothing, and that's my goal.
And that's real interesting. You talk about it becomes bigger than you, and
Mhm.
that ends up driving you, because so often when you don't have true responsibilities and you're only responsible for yourself, you can get lazy and complacent because it's like, oh well, it's me. No one else
Yeah.
is relying on me, so I don't have to work that much harder because I'm comfortable.
Mhm.
So seeing that is interesting to hear. Now, what I am bothered by is I had no idea you want to be a model actress until just now, and I feel like our relationship should be better than that. So let's talk about that a little bit. Where did that come from?
You said you had no idea that I wanted to what?
Be a model actress until just now. That bothers me. Like, let's talk about that a little bit.
But an actress.
Yeah, I mean, you got personality. You ignorant as hell, but you be shy in public,
The sound went out. You said I got personality and what?
and you can get ignorant, but you're shy in public.
Okay. Right. Like, I've had times in my life where I've, participated in things such as um, classes and events, conferences, um, commercial tryouts. Like, I've had those opportunities, those experiences. I've done stuck my foot in there a couple of times to realize that, it's something that I can do. I just
Mhm.
had to peep it. And, I have friends who are in that industry also. They became a motivation, but most importantly, with knowing that I have just a little bit experience, just helps me realize that that's something that I could take serious, and that's something that I aspire to be
So
in the
people talk
future.
and got you. So people talk about the industry, and the industry has its pros and its cons, obviously. But what we often see is that the industry tries to over sexualize women. As a mother, how does that play for you, and how would you, I don't know, deal with a role or an opportunity that may put you in a, let's say, compromising position in the way that you portray yourself?
That's a good question. If it doesn't, up up uplift or stand by my morals, or if it doesn't align with my morals, I don't see it, becoming a part of me. But there are people who like to make things into what they're actually not. Um, so I don't think that anything that I do um, will be accepting of others. If you know what I'm trying to say, like
I know what you're trying to say, but let's try to like flesh it out so other people who may not know you as well understand what you're trying to
yeah,
say here. I know you ain't
yeah.
gonna do no
So
bullshit just for a bag.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do anything to disrespect my son, or put him in harm's way. Yeah, so you know with the industry being the industry, you just have to have a team behind you to be able to, you know, be in those positions to not put you in harm's way, or,
Yeah, and I mean
for
being
that
able to say
particular
no.
situation.
Like just being able to say no is one
Yeah.
of those things, and not biting
Yeah,
at
definitely
every
not.
opportunity just because
Yeah.
the money might look good, because everything that shine ain't gold or glimmer that ain't gold, whatever the old people
Yeah.
say. But we're talking about that, and that can get us into like some questions I have for you. So like I watched the Cardi and Meg Watt video, right? Let me tell you something.
Yeah. Money's not gonna move me. Money's not gonna move me. The purpose behind it is what's the bigger picture. So
So yeah, we're gonna
definitely.
talk a little bit about Meg and Cardi and their video WAP, right? And the song itself. For one, let me tell you something. As a man, I love to watch the video, watch it a few times. It it appeals to my lust. Yeah, I'm a human, I lust. But in the bigger picture, I take away from that song is like, oh, y'all think y'all are just a wet AP. You just think you are what's between your legs and not who you are as a person. And I know some people say, you're a man, you just want to silence them because they're free and comfortable with their sexuality. No, I don't personally have an issue with them expressing themselves that way, because if that's how you choose to express yourself, do that. But at the same time, I believe that you're just more than that. Like, Cardi is a walking bag right now. Meg is a walking bag right now. And they are building a platform for themselves to be very influential in mainstream America. And then to make yourself seem that you're only as good as what's between your legs, I think is damaging for the community, but also damaging for them. It's like, hey, baby, you're more than that. Sure, you got a good personality. Cardi, you look good, man. You got a nice body. Um, you rap well, you know. Yeah, then the way it just starts like, hold on, man, Cardi, you got a kid and a husband. You a hoe? I mean, if you are, it's fine, but I don't want my wife talking about it's some hoes and yeah, where they at? Not you. You getting the hell out of this house. You ain't nothing new. But I'm traditional and old school. So how did that song hit for you? Just just on the surface.
Give me a second. My AirPods just went dead.
Okay, well, as are you ready?
Yeah, I
So
just
yeah, how did that song and
can't.
video hit for you?
Um, let me get the traditional headphones.
Oh, you got wires on your headphones? Yo, you a peon.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little traditional.
Yeah, I like
Can
my
you hear
wing.
me?
Yeah, you good.
I like all flats. You hear me?
I don't like nothing flat over here.
Okay. Speaking of flat, I'm just kidding. But no, the video you talking about the WAP video.
Yeah,
I really like the production of the video. The production of the video deserves every award. I love it. I love the choreography. I love the guests, the featured women who were on the video. Everybody looked good. I like the looks. The snake scene. I don't like snakes, but they were real brave for having them snakes crawl all over them. You know,
I
I
got
know
a
that
snake
could
to
have been a
crawl
hard.
on.
Oh my goodness. You do. You do. You do. Yeah, the snakes. I I just feel like they were really brave for that scene. Overall, a round of applause, baby. They looked good.
Make that ass
They
clap.
did.
Well, no, yeah,
Nothing.
Cardi looked good. Meg, she looked alright. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to look at none of this on Meg, but that wouldn't stop me from doing nothing she want to do. But don't call me no
Oh my
bottom.
goodness. Well, I mean, like, I love the overall picture of the video. It's the song for me. The song, um, how can I say this? Like, it's just really not appropriate, and nothing against the two artists because they are bum artists and they are out here doing the dang thing. So it's like, it's just really going back to what our industry wants. Um, like she say, I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring, honey. Do a
Hey,
survey.
hey.
Do a survey
Uh-huh.
of what man who what husband would want his wife to not cook or clean and still be deserving of a ring. Not saying that all other aspects she can't be deserving. So the promote, like, her promoting that is not okay. Not saying that she lives by that because Cardi is a busy woman. You know, I know once I get to a point where I have several different obligations throughout the day, I'm gonna hire a maid and I'm gonna hire a chef. My man's still gonna eat, you know, and the house still gonna be clean. So, you know, I understand that, but a lot of people don't really look at the bigger picture when it comes to these type of females. Um, okay, these type
Now
of
let me tell
women
you, hold on. Let me tell you about this
making
survey
these
you want to do, right?
songs. Uh
Right.
huh.
Without proper context, that line is terrible. Because do you have to cook or clean to get a ring? No. But the
No, no,
idea
no.
of you, but the problem is the people who are gonna be using that damn caption is they ain't gonna bring nothing to the table but a wet pussy and heartache. And it's like, look,
Right,
no, I need more than that. If you gonna bring
right.
the lifestyle, the bag, then maybe you ain't gotta cook or clean. Or maybe if you are my piece, PEACE, and not just my P I before E, PIECE, right?
Hmm.
Then yeah, you ain't gotta cook or clean. But like, look here, it's a trade-off system, and if you're not looking at that where there's trade-offs, then it's just toxic because the my problem become is with some of this is that women, right?
Hmm.
Y'all are bigger fans than men.
Yeah.
Cause we got pride and stuff like y'all got the Navy and the what
Oh, it's
and the
hot.
Beehive and what Nikki got? She got the Barbs. Men
Yeah.
don't have fan bases like that. And not to say that we don't hang on the words of our entertainers because a lot of us do.
Hmm.
But when you got girls here, girls here, I don't cook, I don't clean, I can still get a ring because I got this wet ass. Look, baby,
Yeah, that.
I can find some good in a lot of places and leave you right where you at.
But is it a wife though? Is it a wife?
The
See,
wet,
I
no, the
just
wet,
don't.
the, you know,
I
the
just
wet
don't
outside.
agree. No, I just don't agree with them promoting that. You know, because a lot of people out here aren't as strong minded as others out here to
Or
just
talented.
listen. I don't want to say it's talented because the industry don't want to hear political stuff all the time. They don't want to hear political music all the time. J. Cole is not praised for the music that he does. He has his own fans. But
Man,
Cardi,
J. Cole
she
was full of
has
shit
a
too.
fan base of she has a wide fan base, and that's not what they want to hear. That's not what they want to hear. She even said it for herself. She don't want to talk about her vagina all the time. But when she was doing press, when she came out with press, didn't nobody want to hear that. They was mad because she was rapping.
That song was whack though.
It was wet because she was rapping.
Nah, it was just
Like
it just
she
it was what
it was it it. Okay, that's
press,
your
press, press,
preference.
press,
That's
press. Cardi don't need no press. No Cardi, you do need press. Like
But
you're
that's
not.
your preference, though. There are other songs. I'm not a big Cardi fan, so I can't really sit here and name, previous songs of hers. But there have been different songs that she's released that people have not been happy with because she's not talking about her vagina and she's not talking about how good she is in the bed and what she looked like with her clothes off. Like she's not. She knows that's not what the industry wants, so she's giving the industry what they want, baby. That's what she's doing, and she's doing a very good job at it. A round of applause.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that's what she's doing, but I won't applaud her for that. That and here's why because I've listened to some interviews, I've heard her talk. I used to follow her on Instagram, and then I just got fed up with some of the shenanigans. But
Oh my gosh, I'm sweating, y'all.
you're fine. In more ways than one. But she is what she's doing is appealing to what they want, but I know that she is bigger than that. She is deeper than what the industry is asking her to be. And that's where it becomes problematic for me personally, because it's like, dang, Cardi, are you giving in for the bag? I get it, because the money is good. But at the same time, like, what matters to you? What's most important to you? And I'm not going to tell somebody to take what's most important to me and make that most important for them. So it's just an interesting thought piece there because like let's take this away from the music industry, right? Let's just take this into life. What's most important for us? We buy Nike and they have some questionable habits, patterns. We watch the NFL. They have shown their owners have shown not to really care about issues that affect black America. As long as you can run that ball, catch that ball, tackle that boy, then they don't really care about what else goes on. And in the NCAA, where some people think not playing for COVID is them caring about the athletes, absolutely not. Them not playing for COVID is because they don't want the liability that may come with somebody who could inevitably catch it under their watch. And more importantly, the insurance liability that the players are requesting, and the union that college football players are building, saying we will only play under these circumstances. If they don't allow them to play, then they take away all of that power from those people. And it's like, what's most important to you? Are you down with the cause, or are you somebody who is going to give in to the dollar figures that are going to be offered to you? But here's what I want to tell you all. I want to thank you for walking down this journey with me for 100 episodes. I want to thank you for those of you who continue on this journey, and those of you who haven't even came yet. Thank you so much, because we have so much left to do. We are just beginning here at Big Baby's podcast. And on behalf of myself and my great friend Morgan Le Reine, hey, look here, you are a king, you are a queen, you are royalty, and you should carry yourself that way. Demand what it is that you want, and don't settle for less, because when you settle, you are giving in to something that you may not want. Like, I've never ever subscribed to the term of settling down with somebody, because when you settle down, you're settling. It's creating a life with somebody who you love to be with. And guess what? I'm trying to continue to build a platform where people can come, speak their mind, give their perspective on life, because, excuse me, we all are royalty in our own right. And we have to continue to carry ourselves in that way. Big baby, yeah.